Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. My name is Kimberly Cloud. I have a very special guest here for the show today. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you're calling from?
I am Megan Jordan, and I am the broker and owner of Bay Brokerage in Tampa, Florida.
Cool. And can we go ahead and talk about your past leading up? I'm glad I got you on the show. Can we talk about your past leading up into your present?
Yeah. So I was born and raised in Tampa. I feel like I'm one of the few people who actually originated in Tampa. I feel like most people here now are transplants. It's a fun little city, or big city now. And ever since I can remember, my mom's been a realtor. So I went to Florida State University and got my undergrad, double majored in marketing and psychology. Knew I wanted to try sales, didn't really know the avenue of what I wanted to do. And I got my real estate license and started working with my mom in 2013, 2012, somewhere in there. And I've been doing real estate ever since, and I opened up Bay Brokerage in 2019. We are a boutique brokerage in Tampa, and we have about, including me, 16 agents right now.
So tell me, like, what I have to dig into real estate.
Yeah.
What about real estate made you want to do real estate? That's question one.
That is a great question. So I grew up watching my mom do real estate, and I swore I would never do it. There's a lot more behind the scenes than meets the eye. You know, most people watch Selling Sunset and shows like that and think it's just looking at beautiful houses and going to all these great parties. And while that can be part of it, that's not even close to the reality of the situation. So I saw my mom work long, rigorous hours, deal with a lot of difficult people and situations, and swore I would never do it. But when I got my real estate license, it was more because I had been a recruiter for 3 months for this company, and they told me that I should find a job that I'm better at because I was not good at that. And I didn't know what to do. And so my mom told me to get my real estate license and just see if I liked it. You know, I can just earn some passive income by giving her some referrals, maybe do some showings for her and get paid by the hour just while I try to figure out what I actually want to do with my life. And the first showing I did, I was absolutely hooked. I love people. You know, you have to be kind of a people person to be successful or actually enjoy this job. I enjoy people. I like the puzzle piece of the contract. I love and adore helping people. That's like my number one thing. And this job just combined all of the things that I wanted to do with my life into one. And I was hooked literally from day one.
Okay, well said. What is the difference between real estate and brokering?
So, and it's different state to state, but in Florida, when you first become a realtor, you have your sales associate license. So in order to activate your sales associate license, you have to hang your license under a broker's license to qualify it. So when in 2016, I went ahead and got my broker's license, meaning that I could be like the head honcho and have all of the responsibility and have agents under me as well, and opened up a standalone brokerage doing property management and investment real estate in Tampa. And I hated property management. So I went back and worked for a larger big box and became a broker associate, and then figured out like why I know how to run the company already. I know how to do the insurance piece. I know how to do all of this stuff. Why am I paying commission splits? So I opened up my own brokerage. So since I'm the broker for the company, I have all the insurance. I have the license to qualify the company. I am in charge of other agents. Like if you work for a company and you get in trouble and someone says, "Can I speak to your boss?" Being the broker, like you are that boss. You're the top, most knowledgeable person at that company to help mitigate everyone else's issues. So it's a higher level license.
Well said. How long do you go to school for real estate, and how long do you go to school for brokerage in the state of Florida?
So in Florida, to get your real estate license, I think it's done by credit hours, and people can do it in 2 weeks, or they can spread it out and do it online. It can go as quickly or slowly as you want. I believe it's like 62 hours to get your sales associate license and 72, 75 to get your broker's license. So you have to, in order to get your broker's license, you have to have your sales associate license for 2 years and be in good standing and pay all your dues. And then you can apply to get your broker's license, and you have to do another 70-something hour course in order to qualify and pass the state exam.
Tell me about an episode tell me about one, we're going to start with the next question. Tell me about your first sale. Tell me about everything that happened, your story.
My first sale was for a home in West Tampa. It was in I think my first sale was 2013. Excuse me. And it was for a single guy looking for a home in West Tampa where he was born and raised. And I think the amount was like 120 or something of that sort. And I remember taking his call because I had followed up. He was a lead, and I had followed up with him, and I was so scared and so nervous to call him. And he actually answered the phone, and I was in the middle of Publix. I remember this. And then I just started talking about what he was looking for, and I was so nervous. I was shaking, and I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, maybe this will be like a client of mine, and maybe I can help change their lives. And we started looking at houses. We found one that he liked, and within like 2 or 3 months, I had my first sale under my belt, and I was so scared the entire time that I didn't know what I was doing. I asked 1,000,005 questions, and this guy, bless his heart, just trusted me throughout the process, and we maintained such a good relationship. When he went to sell that house, he called me and used me as well, which was really cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me, how much was the house versus how much you got? If you
So,
talk.
yeah, no, I think he bought it for like 120, somewhere in that range. We sold it in 2020 for about 275. So he more than doubled his money in less than 10 years, which is great.
Good. And tell me about an instance where, like, are you known? Do you do commercials around Tampa, or like, tell me about that? Like, are you trying to promote yourself? Like, tell me.
Yeah. So there are a lot of people who do commercials. I personally want to have a bus bench just because I think they're funny, more than like actually thinking it'll do anything. How I market myself is, and this is what I tell all my agents too, I really just dig deep in the relationships that I already have and the things that I already do, So this morning, for example, like I play soccer a few times a morning, and I don't think I play with mostly like all guys, and I don't think that any of them know I'm a realtor. We don't talk about that. We talk just about soccer and sometimes family a little bit, but I guess someone like Googled my name because they're like, who is this woman who keeps on showing up to our men's league? Why is she here? And he came up to me when I was leaving this morning. And he's like, hey, I have a question to ask you. And I was like, oh no, like, what did I do? And he started talking to me about real estate and how he wants to sell his house, and I'm already going to soccer every day. I'm already doing this stuff, and I'm finding leads that way, like same with my kids' school, and same with, I'm in junior league in Tampa, which is all about helping the community and giving back. And, when I suit up and show up and volunteer, I just make friends. I'm going to be there anyways. I might as well make friends, be of service and of use, and people get to know, like, and trust me through that process. And so I really just dig deep in the relationships that are already in front of me versus trying to market myself to the masses, and some people find a lot of success in that. I don't think I would translate well on radio or commercials. I'm kind of odd and quirky. And I think that, what just worked for me is just showing up as my authentic self in person in front of people.
Well said, by the way. Tell me
Thanks.
about the hours you work for real estate. Like, does it vary?
Oh, yes. It's weird. It's very weird. I always tell my husband it takes a very specific person to be able to be married to me because my schedule is so chaotic and we have 2 small children. So some weeks I work 30 hours and it's great and there's so much balance. And then some weeks in 2020, I was working 100-hour weeks just because that's just what the market was demanding at the moment. I have a wonderful assistant at this point. I have a transaction coordinator. I've outsourced a lot of things to help me so that I do have some kind of work-life balance without sacrificing quality and without sacrificing my clients. So now it's not 9 to 5, not even a little bit. I have managed to get my hours kind of like my bottom line with my 2 kids is that I refuse to miss out on them, and this really drives my schedule a lot. So they come home at about 4:35 each day, and until they go to bed about 8, I don't work. That doesn't mean that once they go to bed, I'm not pulling out my computer and working until 11 to catch up on emails or whatever, or contracts or offers or whatever that day is entailed. But other than those hours, it's kind of up for grabs. It's completely different each day.
Tell me about, now that you were talking about family life, tell me a typical day of Megan Jordan's life.
I don't really know if there is a typical day, which is the beauty of it. Yes, like my husband's an engineer and he shows up to the same office for the same hours each day. And I think I would die. The recruiting job I had for 3 months was in the office for a set amount of hours and I didn't like it. So like I like having variability in my schedule. I'm incredibly scheduled and time blocked, but I like having the variability. So there's not really a typical day, but each day the consistency with each day is each day I'm up at about 6. My kids get up about 6:30, 6:45. I try to drink coffee or work out or do something like that before they get up. They're out the door by 8. Whether it's me or my husband dropping them off. I really try to exercise like 5 times a week, and just to help clear my mind, just to help take care of myself, whether that is going for walks with friends, playing soccer, or whatever that is. So I try to exercise during the week. I probably have 3 to 4 set in stone appointments each day that don't move. And anything in between is a complete flavor of the day. It could entail taking kids to doctor's appointments. It could entail going grocery shopping for the family. It could be I am locked in on my computer and I don't even look at my phone for 2 hours because I need to get some work done very quickly. So it's really...
So basically you're like a mompreneur.
Basically, yeah.
Do you travel at all?
Yes. So that's what we like to spend our money on. My husband and I are both savers, and so we do travel. I have 2 little boys, like I said, and I had Archie, my baby, about a year ago. So he'll be 1 on March 15th. And when I was about 5 months pregnant, we took a big trip to Europe and brought our older son with us. Last year, we did a lot of, not even staycations. We did some beach trips, some mountain trips, more like driving. And we went to Michigan to visit our family. This year, we want to go to the Northeast, like Vermont. We're going to the Keys this weekend. I want to have a week in the mountains to be outdoors. I want to have a week at the beach to be outdoors. Our next big trip, which might be this year or beginning of next year, is doing the Pacific Northwest. So, we travel. That's the beauty of being a mompreneur, is that I have unlimited vacation days, but on those vacations I'm working.
Tell me about the cuisine that's in like the Miami, because you're in Tampa. That's like 4 hours away, right?
It is. So it's like in the middle of the state on the west side. In Miami, Tampa has some Cuban food. Tampa originated the Cuban sandwich, actually, which is kind of cool. Not many people know about that. Miami is definitely a lot of Cuban food. It is, I like cigars and margaritas and like a very tropical floral life. And Tampa is just like a mix of everything. We have like the South Florida Cuban, we have the Southern barbecue, we have kind of everything. There's, if you name it, Tampa's got it. And that's, I think, one of the things that makes the city so great is no matter what you're looking for, you can find it here.
What made you as a teenager fall in love with Tampa?
As a teenager, I hated Tampa. And I said, I swear I'm going to get out here. Yes. I don't think it was Tampa, though. I think it was just angsty teen Megan wanting to stand alone and be an independent woman and get out from under mom and dad's roof. So I remember in high school telling my friend, I'm going to get out of this small town. I'm going to make it big. And I went to Tallahassee for, like I said, for FSU for 4 years. Lived in Jacksonville for about a year, like 6 to 12 months, and then ended up back in Tampa. And I fell in love with Tampa again once I got back here, and I realized, and I'd seen, like, I'd studied abroad when I was in college. I traveled a lot, and when I landed back in Tampa, I realized, wow, the city has literally everything that you need. It has every major league sports team. It has beaches. It has the Strass Center, which has Broadway plays come through. It has a very efficient airport, international airport with direct flights to Europe. Like, it has a cruise port. So if my husband and I think last April I texted him. I said, I booked a cruise in 2 weekends. I hope you can make it.
So a cruise port is a cruise, basically cruise
terminal. Yeah, it's where the cruise ships take off from. Yeah. So I just bought a last second deal, and I was like, I don't even care if anyone's going. Like, I need to go. I need a break. And I texted my husband, was like, I hope you can make it. I found childcare, and and we went on a cruise for the weekend. So everything that you need or you could want, you can find here. And I did not appreciate it growing up, but I definitely appreciate it as an adult and as a mom. It's really cool.
Good. Where do you see yourself going in the future with this?
I'm a planner. I'm very much a planner. I have 1-year plans, 5-year plans, 10-year plans, retirement plans. I have it all. And at the beginning of each year, I sit down for like 2 hours and I mark all the goals that I want to accomplish within the next 1 to 5, 10 years. So my goal for this year is, my husband and I are currently building a house, and for the life of me, we will be in that house by the end of the year. I am so ready. In 5 years, I see our goal is to have another kid. We would like to have 3. So I see myself doing much of the same. And I really I worked really hard to find the balance that I do have now. And I foresee myself having a similar balance as long as I keep doing the next right thing. I see myself being a working mompreneur. I see my brokerage, I'm capping it at 20. I see us probably hovering around 15 to 18 agents. I see, I also have a men's sober living in Tampa. I've been sober for like 10 years, and our goal within the next year or two is to open up another one. So I foresee us having 2 of them in the next 5 years. In the next 10 years, I see us still, like, my brokerage in the same track of 15 to 18 agents. I see myself, my production, I'm at like 20, 21 million right now. I see it hopefully at about 28 to 30 by that time. I see this men's sober living is still a big part of my life. I see my boys growing up, and I see myself after work hours going to all their sporting events and taking them and being the mom bus, and on the weekends going to all their tournaments with them and just being present with them. I see a very happy, simple, full of joy life. That's my hope, at least,
If you had, well said, and good luck to it. If you had to give one piece of advice to an entrepreneur, what would it be?
It is much harder than you think. I am an accountant. I'm a marketer. I am a question asker. I don't know what I'm doing, and you have to figure it out, and you have to be assertive, and you have to be creative. So it's a lot harder than people think, a lot harder. So my piece of advice is just, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. If you're willing to pay the price, like I said, I worked 100-hour weeks there for about a year and a half. And it was hard. It was very hard. Then I got to my breaking point, and then I decided to start asking for help. So you get out what you put in, but also I learned that asking for help is not a sign of weakness or failure. It's just smart. I can't go after new business. I can't have any kind of balance. I can't have any joy if I am just dead on the inside. And I learned that the hard way.
Well said. And I want to thank you so much for joining my show.
Thank you.
Thank you guys who've been watching. Y'all take care, and I'll be back later. Thank you. Bye-bye.